he is playing. Is it difficult to be watching from the sidelines like that?
Yeah, you're anxious for your own family and you're anxious for the team. Like, I would know all them young boys having the minors not there, but you're anxious for your own son. He's got a hard job today trying to chase Cahill Naughton around that pitch. I'm glad I don't have to do it anyway.
It's tough for you as the big brother, isn't it?
I suppose it is, Joanne, but I think Paddy's been around the block for a while now. I think he's well prepared. He's prepared himself well. So best of luck to both teams.
Just quickly in a word, can Antrim do it?
Probably not. A one's going to be maybe a step too far, if you're being honest. But I think if they show character, we've improved this year, and if we can go on from that and build on it, like I say, we're a young team and we're looking to progress, and we're looking not only compete one day, we're looking to compete every year, and that's what we're trying to hope for, Joanne.
Okay, thanks a lot. There is some optimism down on the sidelines here, Michael, but I'm afraid most of it is in the Cork side.
Yes, I get that impression, and Cyril, that kind of sums it up. I mean, for a man who was his son playing the team, let's face it, he's being realistic about the situation there.
Yeah, you could feel his pressure and say yes, they're going to win, and yet he wanted to, he didn't want to let his heart rule. He said, listen, Michael, if Cork win by 20 points today, everyone will be saying, well, they're expected to do that, and Antrim are no good. If they win by 5, they'll be saying it wasn't a great display. But even if they win by 1, they will still be in the semi-final. That's where they want to be, and I really think they will win, because when you look at the game last Sunday against Waterford, okay, the winner takes all. Waterford win their Munster title, go straight into the Ireland semi-final. But Cork at various times could have pushed on in that game, and even the Twin Towers, I call them, Michael Cusson and Saki, they've taken a lot of stick from the Cork supporters. And yet when you look back in the game and look at the tape again, just an extra touch would have got them vital goals at vital times. And if the players can play off them, they could get a lot of scores. And you go back to midfield, like Tom Kinney's come back to himself. Cahill Naughton, this pitch is made for Cahill Naughton. And okay, they're missing a few backs, but I still think Cork would have the backup. I expect them to win this, as Gerard said there, if they get on top early on, they could push on well. But I still expect them to win well and to be in good frame of mind for the semi-final. A win is a win, and they are capable on a given day of pushing up to any team, and that's what they're going to do, really.
All right, yeah. Well, we remember 1989, of course, that famous semi-final against Offaly. A big day for Antrim. That's quite a while ago. Time for us, though, to take a break here on the Sunday Game. When we come back, we'll be hearing from the rival managers ahead of this afternoon's All-Ireland hurling quarter-final between Cork and Antrim. Welcome back again to the Sunday Game Live. Now, last weekend, Cork lost an epic battle to Waterford, while Antrim were chalking up something of a surprise win over Dublin in Croke Park. Well, today, both Dennis Walsh, the Cork manager, and Dinny Cahill, the Antrim boss, well, they have to focus their minds on the next challenge in this year's championship. And they'll be talking to Joanne Cantwell.
Well, Dennis, I suppose what every Cork person wants to know is how have these players managed to recover from last week?
Yeah, well, Joanne, I suppose that's difficult enough from the point of view. We'll find out today, obviously, but I suppose we had 2 savage, hard physical games, and I suppose the disappointment of losing is bound to take a little bit. But these are very, professional players and very experienced, and even the young lads now have adapted well to all that. And Croke Park is really where they want to operate, and I think we're really looking forward to the game today to come out and maybe express ourselves as well. And I suppose it's crucial to win the game from our point of view, but we know it won't be easy.
That's interesting to hear you say express yourselves. Is that something you want to do, go out and make sure you play your game plan and play it the way you really want it?
Yeah, well, I think all year long we've been trying to just work on ourselves, really, and we've come unstuck in the league final, and we've come unstuck against Waterford in the Munster final, and we have to hold our hands up. But I think we've refocused really during the week, and we've focused on ourselves more than anything else, and getting to Croke Park, and we've got to show our true ability, really. And if it's good enough, it's good enough. If it's not, well, we'll have to move on,
Dinny, how important is it that Antrim do themselves justice today?
Well, we've been working hard all year, and every time we play the game, we always said we assess ourselves after the game. But today is a great challenge ahead of us, we're looking forward to it.
You obviously have been reminded all week about your predictions back in 2004. What are your expectations of Antrim today?
Well, we're a good side, and if all these players can go out and express themselves, and I know they're capable of maybe upsetting the team as well at times. But last weekend was a great win for us, and we're looking forward to this game today.
But how much of a step up are Cork?
Oh, Cork, they're a good outfit, there's a lot of big names on the team, so I think the challenge is there for our lads.
All the best of luck to you.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Ginny is a Tipperary man, so he knows all about Cork hurling, I can tell you that. Tom, within Cork itself, within the hurling community in Cork, how do they feel about this team now at this stage?
I suppose, Michael, at the start of the championship, you were saying Dennis Walsh is getting his full run of the team. He's come in kind of after all the trouble last year and stuff like that, and he had a big winter of training regime and new backroom staff behind him, and like everybody looked forward to Tipperary match, and it was fantastic. Great buzz about the team, great excitement, you know. And certainly over the last maybe couple of weeks, we just kind of looked at the game plan, and you know, particularly up front, defensively, they've been very, very good. You know, and Dennis mentioned kind of about the commitment that was there last weekend. No doubting about the commitment, the endeavour, the effort from the players and stuff like that. But we lacked something certainly up front in the two matches against Waterford, and that's probably a worry. It's a big game again for the likes of Cusson at centre forward today. I believe what's going to happen here, Ciara Murphy, the captain, is going to go to centre forward. You're going to have Cusson go to the wing, and you're going to have Ben O'Connor will start in a corner position. And like, that's a big ask for Ciara Murphy going to centre forward. He came there last Saturday night, if you remember, for maybe 10 minutes of the game, and I thought he brought Cork back into the game because he's very, very clever with his distribution of ball, and suddenly he's gone off the feed he was taken off, you know. There is a little bit of inconsistency certainly in our attack, and it's just the way we get a lot of possession, but it's the style of hurling that they're playing up front particularly, and we are not using the amount of possession that they're getting certainly. And you'd see Cusson maybe being a big target from Puckles today for the half hour.
What do you think of the dropping of Patrick Horgan tomorrow?
Well,
what's the feeling there?
I mean, I'll be accused of being biased because he's a club mate of mine.
Yeah. No, but I think generally outside of Cork, there's
I mean, if you said that the other 5 forwards last weekend were all brilliant, and he was the one that didn't perform, you'd say, yeah, maybe he deserves to be dropped, you know. But the whole 6 forwards didn't go well in the first half period. He's a fantastic hurler. He's a top scorer in the league and championship.
Has he played further out the field?
He has played further out the field. I mean, he can play wing forward, he can play full forward. And I think even last weekend, you look at Saturday night, it just needed maybe a variation of putting the two twin towers, maybe a corner forward positions, putting a faster guy in at full forward, because there was an awful lot of ball went in there. And he thrives on possession like that, you know.
And the whole plan was send it towards Isaki, no matter where Isaki was.
I mean, I've been the first.
It's very hard to play corner forward.
I mean, look, I've been with this guy for the last number of years. I've trained him with Glen Rovers for 4 year period as well. And look, I'd be the first man to give him a kick up the arse as well, because of his rock rate and stuff like that. That he needs to put a bit more into it when he doesn't have the ball. But there is no denying this guy's ability and his hurling prowess and his class, you know. So, but he'll come back from that.
I think really the problem with Cork at the moment, since Tomas' time playing, they're getting it hard to adapt to Michael Cusson and Isaki. They're not the usual prototype of Cork hurlers. Like Cork usually play good fast games, swinging over ball. Like the last 2 games, as Tomas said, none of the you know, Horgan was taken off, but Randall could be gone because none of them were scoring at all, except from a few frees, and there was another one, you know, Ben was taken, but there was no real threat. Now that's very unusual for Cork, because usually they'd have fellas that had, even if they played off